S Sport ekranlarına hoş geldiniz. Bugün çok özel bir konumuz var. Fenerbahçe Beko'nun baş antrenörü Sarunas Jasikevicius'la beraber sezonu ve tabii ki transferini konuşacağız. Coach, welcome to Fenerbahçe in Istanbul, first of all.
Thank you very
It's very nice to talk basketball with you, with such a legend as yourself, of course. It's always a pleasure for us to be with you in this stage. Coach, so it's going very fast. You are the head coach of Fenerbahçe Beko right now, but tell us about the process. When did the talk start? How did you make up your mind to come here? How was that like?
Well, I mean, the talks were very quick. It started, ended in, a little bit more than 24 hours, and was not sure exactly what to do. Was not really expecting to coach this year, to be honest. Now, in the family and with my assistant Thomas, we're laughing, that we were already planning the New Year's trip, the February trip. And like you always say, you planning and God is laughing, So now he's really laughing, And yeah, everything was so fast, and like we said, now the last 10 days have been absolutely crazy with the amounts of games and the things that you're trying to do. And yeah, so like I said, now it's no time to cry. Yeah. It's time to work and hopefully to win some games.
Yeah, is your family also laughing with this process?
They are not laughing, I'm telling you that. They are not laughing, They need to start adjusting to the new life here in Istanbul,
They are in here, of course. You've been to the Christmas party of Fenerbahçe. You've been to derby game in football.
Yes.
How are they liking the process so far?
Well, I think you need to introduce them a little bit to what's going to happen. So it happened to be, the big soccer game, here. And obviously, the club organized a great Christmas party. So a little bit to get the family integrated as well is very important, for them to meet the people inside the club and the other families. So, yeah. A little bit mix of work and pleasure, I guess.
I guess you are looking for a house with your wife is also here, so you must be looking for a new house right here.
That's the reality, between the games you have to go and search for and hopefully settle the kids a little bit. Like I said, it's going to be difficult now 6 months here, and then hopefully from next year it will be a totally family life here in Istanbul.
Yeah. Coach, everybody in basketball, people, of course, were talking about that Sarunas never take a team in the mid-season. But here we are.
Yeah.
What changed your mind? Maybe it was not your idea. It was just a rumor that you would not take a team in the mid-season. But what was the idea to take Fenerbahçe? And how is Derya, the GM, convinced you to come here?
Well, I mean, in general, yes. The general idea was not to take the job in the middle of the season, because of the difficulties that come with it. But at the same time, I think I was not really set on, okay, 100% we will not coach. When the teams were talking a little bit, more or less, you understand that, there's very few great jobs in European basketball like Fener. So at the same time, yes, you're thinking you're not going to coach, but it's very difficult to pass up on these opportunities. I took over Žalgiris in January, about, 8 years ago. And even though I was assistant, everything was more easy. But at the same time, here you have already, a lot of great players, that they will make your job easy. You're coming into the team that was really well coached before, so the team, is assuming a lot of basketball things very quickly, very experienced team together with a great mix of young guys. So, I mean, I think overall, clearly the positives really outweigh the negatives, and the negative probably is the biggest one is to take over the season, in the middle of the season, take over the team. So, I mean, it's not perfect, but a lot of times, we cannot wait for the perfect situation.
But I want to go into some more details, Coach, because in 24 hours, it's not easy to, convince such a coach as yourself.
Yeah.
What was the project that Derya or the club offered you? What is the most interesting you had in the team?
I think, overall you're sitting and watching the games and you understand that Fener has, potential, obviously as a team, right now, clearly the team to beat in the EuroLeague is Real Madrid. I think they're really rolling, and we were always thinking who is that, second or third team at this point? And for us was clearly Fenerbahçe that had this potential. Now you have to put the potential on the court, and it seems like it could be done. As far as conversations with Daria, I felt really that I could work with him. Obviously he's here, already some years. We felt good chemistry as far as talking. I knew him from before, so like I said, it's very important for the coach to have this relationship with the general manager. And right now, after 10 days, it's, nothing really changed. It seems like the communication is good, and hopefully we can build on that.
Thursday was one of the longest days of your life, I guess, because you landed here at 4 p.m. I guess.
Yeah.
You came here. I believe you met with Coach Itudis here, maybe talk a little bit.
Yeah.
Then you practice with the team,
Yeah.
and the next day there was a game.
Yeah.
Most of the coaches may think that let's watch it from the stands. Let me watch from the stands and take over in the weekend in the Turkish.
Yeah.
But you didn't do that.
Yeah.
Tell us about that days, Coach.
Well, first of all, you forgot to say that we were stuck in traffic for 2.5
Of course,
hours.
of course.
So this is one of the small things about Istanbul. I think when you come, what is the point of staying in the stands? I think you just somehow try to come and immediately try to help. Maybe you can help with one offense, one defense, one suggestion. Overall, my help for that Monaco game was in a way try to not to be in the way of the players, and for them to kind of play with the energy and to try to figure things out. Just a little small details defensively. I thought that they were amazing with the energy. I think we really hurt Monaco with the energy and offensive rebounds and things like that. We really, whatever we lacked in cohesiveness and, let's say, togetherness, I think the guys did it with the energy and their wish to win. And it was just a matter of trying to help a little bit.
Mm-hmm. That offensive rebounds and energy you mentioned, Coach. I was remembered that while you were in Žalgiris was also one of the teams that gets the most offensive rebound because of the attacks to the breaking the paint, especially. Is that something that you want to implement in the team?
Yeah, everybody. I think every team will emphasize. I think we have the players to do it. Our 5 position players are big. 4 and 3 position possibly are very big. With Pierre and Nigel and other players. So yeah, everybody knows that the things like offensive rebound, it's all about wish to play. It's about your own personal responsibility of attacking the offensive glass. So we have to insist on that for sure.
Mm-hmm. And team is sharing the ball very well in these days. Of course, in Itudis era, it was like 16 assists. Of course, it's related to the field goals made.
Yeah.
But now it's like 21, 22 average in a game in your era. How happy with the ball movement in your team right now?
Yeah, I think it's too early to kind of make these type of assumptions, what we're going to do better, what we're going to do worse. I think the period is very short time to make an assumptions. Yeah, we had some good games. I think, incredible game, by Nick and Scotty in Berlin, with having so many assists and so little turnovers. So in this sense, yeah, we need to learn how to do it even better. And, like we said, step by step, maybe we can improve a lot of facets of the game.
Mm-hmm. You have 3 ex-players here, Nigel, Nick and Sertaç. Is this something that you getting help from them to, implement what's going on, your idea to implement to the team?
Yeah, one of the reasons I took this job is because you have some players like this, and you have this ability of get a little bit continuation. Right now, Nick and Nigel and Sertaç are constantly talking with the teammates, exactly. In this situation, we want to do this. Mm-hmm. And, I encourage, for Sertaç especially to help, for example, Motley and Papagiannis in this case, in this situation, we want to do this, in this situation, want to do that. And they've been helpful, Nigel is all the time in the position on the court where you always hear him, defensively, offensively. He's always trying to help the guys to move the ball offensively, defensively, to be in the right position. Yeah, so for sure, these guys will be a huge help for me, especially early on in the being here in Fener.
Mm-hmm. Coach Nick and Nigel, of course, they were your players while you were at Barcelona. And when they left Barcelona, they were, not happy with the days in Barcelona. Maybe
exactly.
We are not right about this. Well, I don't know. This is what we see from them or their comments.
Yeah.
What did you do when you faced with them? Did you talk with them? It's a new era. It's a new days that you're gonna live here. How was your approach to these players?
I think, listen, you have to understand that when you work with the players in such a high-pressure situations, it's not going to be a lot of times the perfect stuff, you know what I mean? I mean, with Nick and with Nigel and with Sertac, we had great moments, whether it was Barcelona or Žalgiris, because with Nigel was in Žalgiris as well. And it was some great moments, some bad moments. You have to talk it out, The fact is that it's a new beginning. I think these guys have been incredibly professional. I understand Nick's comments that he said, I don't think that he said that anything wrong. He just said his opinion, that one coach is different from the other. It's always the coaching. One guy wants to control more, one guy wants to do this, one guy he lets you this, another one he doesn't let you this. So I'm not really sensitive in this type of situation. I think he voiced his opinion, and then to be honest with you, it was an honest opinion. Was it against me? I don't really care, to be honest with you. It's more like the situation of us being together now and doing what's best for Fenerbahçe and not being, he said something in the past. No, all he did, I think, was to give an honest opinion. Yeah,
and you are the coach that's always commented about. All your ex-players have something to say about your coaching philosophy, I guess. How do you, analyze that kind of comments from your ex-players?
Well, listen, the thing is that I have to do what I think is the best for the team. Some players like it, some players don't like it. The most important, how does this affect the player's professionalism and his performance on the court, in practices and on the games? So when you have many players over the years, some of them will like you, some of them will not like you. Usually it's related how good they are doing. If they are doing good, they usually like you. And if the team is winning, they usually like you. If they're not doing good, the team has some losses, usually the coach is the problem. So like I said, for me, the most important is my job here in Fenerbahçe, and the other extra stuff is a lot of times blown up out of proportion, and some things that you can talk out privately, But like I said, usually it's performance related, their comments,
Yeah. Coach, in your Barcelona era, you have 3 Final Fours, 2 ACB titles, and 2 Copa del Rey. On paper, it doesn't look bad at all. But when you look back at those days, how do you evaluate your days in Barca?
Great. Extremely happy with the job done. Extremely sad that we fell short, in the Final Fours, and those were very painful losses. Overall, I think we put Barca exactly where it needs to be, constantly number 1, number 2 in the EuroLeague, constantly number 1, 2 in the ACB, playing all the finals everywhere, getting the team to the biggest stage, improving the players, some young guys, really improving. Kubaitis, Da Silva, Nagy, and, making a lot of opportunities for the academy players to make a debut in the big gym, for Barca. So overall, extremely happy about 3 years in Barcelona.
And after that last Final Four, I read a comment, the GM of Barcelona, Navarro, said, we can extend the contract of Sarunas Jasikevicius. But you won the league and that didn't happen. What was the process was like at the end of the season in Barca?
The process was very ugly, and I will keep it like that.
Really? So, can I go into some details or not?
Like I told you, I will not talk about more.
Of course. It was ugly, yeah?
It was ugly at the end with them.
Because I want to ask about the salary reductions of Mirotic's comments during the finals. You were playing a final. He was supposed to be in the press conference in the El Clasico, but he was another place that's commenting another things.
Yeah, like I said, in this situation, you have to take off the hat to Nicola. There was, and how he played the final and how he, was the best player in the final on the same time when, when the club was giving the news that, about the situation. So it's just, like I said, like incredibly proud of how how we finished it in a tough time, because, you know, after the Final Four, the team really pulled together, and, you know, we won we went 8-1 in the Spanish playoffs, playing very good basketball, and at the same time dealing with incredible amounts of distractions, you know. So for the team, it's was a great moment, great pulling together and coming out on top, you know, against you know, especially the 3-0 against the, you know, the European champions, and to be done in that convincing way, you know, it just says a lot about players' professionalism.
Of course, speaking of Milotic, he's a star player, of course, and maybe you, as a coach, need to approach every player different, or you need to approach every player, especially star player, the same as the 12th guy. How do you think you need to respond or approach to a player to this caliber?
Well, listen, I think the biggest thing, I think the biggest thing with Nikola, I think over the years he really learned how to give himself for the good of the team. I think he was able to sacrifice himself for the good of the team, you know, to take his numbers and his shots within the system, you know, with the other 4 players understanding exactly what he's going to do. I thought he became very good at reading the double teams and whatever the defenses that the other team showed for him. And I thought he made you know, huge steps as a team player, and also not just the scorer. That, you know, it's very easy for him. You know, for him to score 20 points is extremely easy. You know, you can take the ball and you cannot stop him. But, you know, he really learned to deal with the double teams from the top, from the situations of the low post, and he made his teammates better at the end.
And he was 1 of 10 during the Real Madrid game in the Final Four, but you kept him in the core because maybe he's the leader and he needs to be out there.
Yeah.
So I want to ask this, coach, the main criticism about you is to, you know, your relationships with the star players. This is the criticism about you, but how do you, you know, see this as yourself was the greatest player in the EuroLeague? How do you need to approach to get the best of the players? Well,
I think first of all they need to understand that they are just part of the team. It doesn't matter how, you know, that's what everybody approached to me when I was player. It doesn't matter how great you are, you're still only one of the boys, you know, and that's why I try to deal with what you call star players, you know. They got to be a great teammate first. They got to be, you know, doing their job first. If you are the leader of the team, most likely you need to be showing this in the practices every day and in your approach on and off the court. And then the court is just basically the last product of what we do, you know. So, and then, you know, you have to, like you said, you have to deal with every player different, you know. You have to approach him different, but not because he's a star player. I think because we have to understand, first of all, what kind of personality he is, what kind of person he is first, and then we approach him maybe in a different way, but not because he's a star player. He needs to be approached a different way.
You always talk about the killer instinct of the team, of a player.
Exactly.
Is it something that a player has, or you can earn it from the experience you have?
I think we can help them to understand the killer instinct within, but probably will not be able to change the player completely. He already is who he is as a person, first of all. And we try to tell him, we try to teach this, but I believe it's not teachable 100% until the end. So hopefully my job is to take this extra 5% or whatever it is I can do. I don't know, with some players maybe be 3%. Exactly, to maximize your abilities, and this is what the only thing I can do.
How about this team, coach? This team has the killer instinct?
Well, let's see. I cannot answer yet. I think, you know, we're understanding who are the main players here. I think they're extremely experienced players. Yeah, I think also the killer team, the killer instinct you must develop as a group, you know, for them being together and in certain points of the season, certain points of the game, talking about it and saying, okay, now we got to go for the kill, because the margin in the EuroLeague and in Turkish league is so little that, you know, with the moment you have to take care of something, the game, the series, even looking at the standings, you know, something, you have to put away the teams, or the teams are going to come back and put you away.
Yeah. And pre-games and post-games, you always mention a word, suffering. What does this mean, coach? To suffer, to, you know, to get a result by suffering. What is that you?
Yeah, well, listen, I think it's very easy to deal with things when things are going your way and all the shots are falling and all the situations. You really understand how they're gonna happen, you know. And but a lot of times in the EuroLeague, especially, the games are won by making a defensive stand, to taking 2 or 3 defensive possessions in a row, digging deeper and find a way, you know, to stop the other team and maybe take one rebound or something like this. Yeah, so this is more or less what we're talking about. We need to find ways to win the ugly games, the ugly situation, because a lot of times you have to win like this.
Yeah, and we are in a position in the EuroLeague that every team is very close.
Exactly.
It's one of the most competitive season. So how do you see the season, coach? Because you've been to Final Four for 4 times. You know how to get there. How capable of this team to reach the Final Four?
Well, like I said, first of all, one of the answers I always give is you don't need to look at the Final Four. You need to just go game by game, practice by practice. That's the way I approach things, you know. And this team has potential. There's no hiding it. You know, this team has potential, and we need to put the best product on the court. You know, I think the players are extremely motivated. The players want to achieve, but we need to understand that this is a marathon, and every game is crucial. Right now, probably if I'll say that until the end of the year, every EuroLeague game is a final, you know, it would be exaggeration, but also probably not.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you look at the standings, I mean,
yes,
especially in the double weeks, 1 or 2 games, you're going up 5 positions or you're going down 5 positions. So it's really a bunch of finals really left in the season.
Yeah. Will there be an addition to your team, a new player, or you ask for the GM to, you know, to have a new player?
I think in general our idea is to come and build, you know, something, and to build a better team, you know, over the course. So if it's in this window or if it's, you know, next window, that's what we will do. I think this is the most important thing. I think it's very difficult to make a transfer, you know, in the middle of a season. We see some happening, but it's not so easy. But idea of more than winning right now, more important is to build and evolve and get the program better. And let's see.
Coach, we are talking about players, but as a basketball idea, what do you want to add in the team? Because I know that you like to play post-ups from your guards or bigs.
Listen, I need to play the basketball that my players can play. You know, I can have idea about the post-ups or not. For sure, one of the biggest misconceptions about me is that I'm controlling kind of coach. You know, I really would like to run. Was not able to achieve that on consistent basis in Barcelona. Would like to run more. There's no question about that. The encouraging 3 years in Barcelona, and sometimes we did. For me, not enough, you know, transition basketball, and we would like to do that here. Like I said, ultimately, you know, it's not about me, it's about the players, and I have to adjust of what I have on the roster and to take out their best qualities.
So it's related to the roster you have, right?
100%.
Yeah. Coach, in the last part, we need to have your message to the fans, because they are all too excited to have you here. As you know, you were the player, you won the title here as a player, and you're a legend, as I mentioned earlier, as yourself. So what will be your message to the fans from here?
Listen, you know, we always ask the support of Fener fans. Like I always say, every visiting team is coming in, you know, Walker Arena, and they understand how difficult it is over here when our fans are engaged, when they are behind us. You know, it's 6 player. You know, there's no question about that. You know, and just other than that, you cannot promise much. But our 100%. You know, our 100% on a day like this when they don't see us. You know, 100% on the day when the gym is full and, you know, we're all together in a battle. So, yeah, their support is extremely important for us. But, you know, for us it's the most important to do the job on a day like today when there is no fans and nobody see us work.
Yeah. Coach, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks.
All the best and good luck for the season. Thank you very much. Coach Sarunas Jasikevicius röportajımız böyleydi. Bir sonraki röportajımızda görüşene dek hoşça kalın.